Welcome back to the online sessions of the practical videos. Now, in this practical session, we are going to discuss about the next operation which we are going to perform on the lathe machine. That is the grooving operation, to perform the grooving operation onto the lathe machine. So this is the new thing or the next operation on the lathe machine. Now what do you mean by the grooving operation? So for that, let us see the first the apparatus which we are going to require. Basically we require the lathe machine for this grooving operation. So this is how this is the lathe on which we are going to perform our grooving operation, and there is a grooving tool which is going to be there on the thing. That is the grooving tool. Over here we can see this is the grooving tool which is required, and this is the edge which is responsible for the grooving operation to be carried out on the lathe machine. So this is the grooving operation which we are going to perform on the lathe. Basic material which we require, the material on which we are going to do, that is the workpiece on which we require a grooving operation to be performed. That is the grooves which are going to be made. You will be knowing about the grooves. What is that grooves? That means if there is a workpiece is there over here, any of the workpiece if we are seeing, and in that thing if you want to remove this much portion from all the side, then this grooving tool is going to be required. Now let us see the basic theory about or basic principle of the lathe machine. In the lathe machine, how does it works? The lathe machine, the lathe holds the workpiece very firmly inside its jaw of the chuck, which is located at the headstock, and then it is allowed to move at a very high speed. So your workpiece is allowed to move at a very high speed. Where it is going to be placed? It is going to be placed firmly on the headstock. We are using the tool. That tool is placed in the tool post. There are two options to place the tool. One is the carriage, second is your tool post, or you can say tailstock. But here we are going to place our tool in the particular thing that is known as a carriage. So tool is made to move in any of the direction, and with this movement your any of the operation is going to take place. What is the main function? Main function of any of the lathe operation is to get the desired size and shape of the workpiece. How this size and shape of the workpiece we are going to get? That is going to get with the removal of the material from the workpiece in the form of the chip. So when your tool is in contact with your workpiece, it will remove the material in the form of the chip, and as a result we will get whatever the final shape which we require about the workpiece. And this is how your workpiece is allowed to move, and your tool is taking inside the workpiece and doing a certain operation which we want to perform it on the lathe machine. Now come, what is the theory behind this grooving operation? Grooving, basically it is a specific turning operation. Whatever we have studied about the turning operation, the same thing is there, but it is basically a mixture of turning and facing. Turning and facing. Inside we are going as a facing, and then we are moving our tool in the parallel direction as if we are doing in the turning operation. So basically both the operations are carried out in this grooving thing. So why we are using this thing? To cut the grooves or to form a narrow cavity inside the external or internal surface. So here grooving on the lathe which we are using, our grooving tool is used, and where we are doing, we are going perpendicular and parallel, both the feeds they are inserted in the particular thing of the grooving. Where we are using this tool, we are holding this tool inside the carriage, or you can say tool post, and then we are doing our operation. So here you can see this is the tool in which grooving tool we can take the grooves. That means according to certain width if we require, you can see over here we can perform this thing. So this is the operation of the grooving tool. Now what is the procedure to be performed? Why we are using this tool? We are using this operation for providing the narrow grooves on the cylindrical workpiece. Which cutting tool? We are requiring a cutting tool that is known as a grooving tool, which is the primary motion, that is the rotary motion of the lathe. And lastly, which feed motion? We are giving cross feed, perpendicular, parallel, all the types of the feed you can give according to the groove which you require inside the any of the workpiece. And this is how you can see actual image of the grooving which is going to be taking place. So this is the groove over here which you can see the groove, and this is the tool which is responsible for this grooving action. Okay, so now let us see how we are going to perform this grooving operation onto the lathe machine.
બસ કરો પેલું તો તમે કરી જ કાઢો પછી છેલ્લેથી સ્પીડ મૂકો.
આ બાજુ આવતો રહે.
So in this operation you can see that the speed of the lathe is kept as slow as compared to your turning and facing operation. So, in this way we can see over here the groove has been generated or groove has been created with the help of this operation. So, now let us see, this is the thing. So you can see over here the tool which has been changed, and this tool is known as a grooving tool. And the second tool which we have used in the facing and the turning operation, that was our single point cutting tool. So there is a difference between the single point cutting tool and the grooving tool. You can see both the tools over here. So with the help of this grooving tool, we have created a groove inside of the any of the sample, and in this way we can go for the grooving operation. So wherever we require any type of the groove, with the help of the grooving tool, one thing which you have to keep it in mind, you have to always reduce the speed of the lathe, and then you can go for this type of the operation that is known as a grooving operation.